Hi, Nick. I'm pretty excited about this, and I'm sure you are too. You're finally back after breaking your arm in week 1. How amped are you for the second half of the season?
Well, I'm really excited. I think it's one of those things that I've never experienced this before. I've never missed any games, so I didn't really know what to expect in coming back. So this has definitely become a really exciting time for me, just in preparation of coming back and working with Sav and Kai and getting my arm and body right to get back to playing again. So I'm extremely excited.
What was it like rehabbing, getting the strength back in your arm after you broke it?
Well, I'm still in the process of getting the strength back. I'm still doing still rehabbing and things like that. It was more frustrating than anything. At least with a muscle or a ligament or something like that, you can do extra rehab and you can push it to get healthy quicker. With the bone, the only thing that heals it is time. So, the most difficult thing for me was just not doing anything, telling myself to wait, don't push it too hard in the weight room. I didn't want to set myself back. So, definitely the most difficult thing to deal with was just the time factor.
I can definitely understand that. How painful was it? You came back and played in the second half even after breaking your arm. What was that like?
That was definitely something I never really thought I would have to go through. It was a lot more painful than I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to be able to give me a lot more pain meds on the sideline, and I really wasn't going to feel it. Unfortunately, they were only allowed to give me so much or whatever, and it didn't affect my level of pain like I thought it would. So it was definitely difficult. It was very it was a test mentally as well as physically, because I just had to keep telling myself that it didn't hurt to try and get through it. It was really tough.
Would you say that's the hardest thing you've ever had to do on a football field?
Definitely would have to say that.
Can't argue with that. I'm curious, what inspired you to pursue a career as a long snapper? Because you did it all 4 years at Cal, and I'm just curious. I mean, most players probably don't grow up thinking, I want to be a long snapper. So how did you get on that path?
Well, I didn't grow up in it either. My junior year of high school, I got moved from tackle to center, and both of our snappers graduated, so the guys that we had doing it. So we actually had a new coaching staff in that year, and my offensive line coach took it really seriously. I think he had like 10 or 11 or 12, something like that, guys, snappers go get full ride scholarships to Division I schools before me. So, as snappers. So he took it really seriously, and his name is Ben Bernard, and I still work with him. I'm in Phoenix right now, training with him every day I'm here. So, he just told me, if you want to do this, you can, but it's going to take work ethic and determination and things like that. So. I started working with him 4 to 6 days a week. We would lift together and snap together. We had a smaller group of guys that all trained together. And, as I started to get better at it and I saw guys that were older than me doing it in college, it really pushed me to want to do it as well. And also, it didn't, I wasn't big enough to be an offensive lineman, but I wasn't, fast enough to play linebacker or anything like, or be, in any other position. So this was kind of my niche. And I figured if I was going to be able to continue to play, this was going to be the only way I was going to be able to do it.
Well, seems like it's worked out pretty well for you.
Yeah, I'd say that.
I'm curious. You did you got a legal studies degree in 3.5 years, right? At Cal?
Yes, sir.
That's no joke. So what was it like balancing football, your studies, and having any kind of social life?
Well, I didn't take it very seriously, to be honest, my first 2 years. I kind of slacked off and had the C's get degrees mentality. But my junior fall, I realized that if I decided to take things seriously and really hunker down, I would be able to graduate early. So I ended up taking 18 credits in the fall, 25 in the spring, 10 in the summer, and 18 in that my senior year fall. To be able to graduate early. Yeah, it was an intense year and a half, to say the least.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was nuts. But I think when you put your mind to it and say, I can do this, and if you look at the bigger picture, like for me, graduating early in December gave me the ability to come back to Phoenix and snap with my coach and lift with him and train to try and get to the NFL. So, with that bigger picture in mind, it really made, studying and things like that a whole lot easier. The social life, to be honest, Berkeley isn't the greatest place to go if you're looking for a social life. So, I hung out with, a lot of guys on the team and had some friends and stuff like that outside of that, but I wasn't a huge partier.
I don't think you could be taking on the load you did.
Right.
I think you've already answered this, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Who's been your greatest influence throughout your career? Would it be your line coach from high school?
Yeah, it definitely. Well, I have two. It's my mom, and then Ben Bernard, who taught me how to snap, and who's kind of been there every step of the way, pushing me to be even better than I ever thought I could be.
Excellent. Every locker room has a couple of clowns that keep things kind of light, and I'm wondering, are you one of those clowns, or are you kind of a stoic guy in the locker room?
I can be. I am, yes, and at times I'm not. I think I try to do a good job of being a clown at the right time. I know I mess with the media quite a bit. I enjoy razzing them as much as I can, but
who's the biggest down on the Redskins right now? Who's the biggest?
Oh man,
locker room.
Niles Paul is up there. He's always messing around. Let's see. We got some younger guys. Stephen Bowen is always joking around. He's an awesome guy too. Guys like that, they're always, in the locker room, everybody razzes each other and gives each other crap, but it's never anything. Nope. Everybody knows, there's a line that you generally don't cross, and those guys do a good job of having a great time and keeping everything light at the same time.
Cool. Okay, Mike Shanahan recently said that the season now becomes an evaluation for next year. I think that got a little blown out of proportion in the media, but I was wondering, were you surprised by that statement, and how would you describe the team's response?
I don't think I was surprised by the statement. I think it was a frustrating loss, and I think he just kind of said what was on his mind, and I don't think that was. I don't think exactly how he said it was how he meant it. So. He talked to us and kind of set things straight and said, listen, this is what I was trying to say. This is what I meant. I haven't given up on you guys, things like that. But, in reality, anytime you have a season where you start 3-6 through 9 games, it becomes an evaluation for next year. This isn't, we haven't started great. Odds, I'm not saying we won't make it, but very few teams in the past have made the playoffs after starting 3-6. So, if we continue to go on the road that we're on, which hopefully we don't, every team that starts out, with a bad record through 9-10 games, it always happens this way. So I'm not surprised by any means. I think it's something that as an athlete, when your team isn't performing, everybody has to look at themselves in the mirror and kind of say, listen, I'm going to be evaluated through these next few games because things need to be turned around here. So if I don't put my best tape on film, then there's a chance that I might not be here next year. That's just the reality of sports and athletics in general, especially as crazy and as much of a business as the NFL is. Your job is always on the line. I don't think that that's new to anybody.
Yeah, well said. obligatory Robert Griffin III question. What is it like being led by a rookie quarterback, and how would you describe his leadership style?
He's done a phenomenal job of not acting like a rookie. You know, a lot of times you get guys that come in and they're kind of starstruck and just of being in the locker room with guys that they've been watching on TV and play for years, you know? So he's just done a really good job of being that even-keeled guy who just came in and started working hard from day one. You know, he's generally one of the first people in the building, and he's one of the last guys out. You know, his work ethic is nearly unmatched. So at least when it comes to film preparation and things like that. So, you know, he's just one of those guys who's always around, and he leads by, I guess that's kind of his way of leading is by example. Like, you know, some other guys are big rah-rah guys. Some other guys lead by example, you know, are quieter and just kind of just work hard and lead that way. And he's kind of one of those guys. And as a young guy, I think that's the only way that he could step into that leadership role and have any success. It's tough for a young guy to step in and be a rah-rah guy, you know what I mean? Just because they haven't really done anything to prove themselves. So I think he's done an excellent job of just coming in and, you know, showing every single guy on the team that, you know, he's here to outwork everybody, and he wants this team to succeed, and he's willing to do whatever it takes, whether that is, you know, put the team on his back in the fourth quarter and make drives that we didn't think, you know, he could make, things like that. You know, so I think he's just done a phenomenal job of I guess opening all of our eyes to what kind of how high a character person he is.
Excellent. Last question for you, Nick. Just want to know what we can expect to see from the Redskins in the second half.
Well, hopefully more wins. I think this bye week is going to be good for us. I think it's a perfect time for a lot of guys to kind of to take a little bit of time off and say, you know, just kind of look at themselves and I guess just try and turn things around. You know, just realize that, you know, this isn't the direction we want to go in. And, you know, a lot of times when you get into, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in a row, you have the preseason, you know, we're 13 games in a row, 13 weeks in a row, just playing. You know, you kind of get into a rhythm. So having a bye week right now, I think, is going to be a good opportunity for guys to kind of break that rhythm that everybody's been in and try and turn it around into a winning rhythm.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Nick. I really appreciate you doing this interview, and I'm rooting for you guys. And good luck the rest of the way. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jesse. I appreciate it too, man. Anytime you ever need me, don't hesitate to call.
Thank you. I will.